Good evening. I'd like to call over the special meeting of the Perry Municipal Authority meeting, March 1st, 2021 at 6:15 via Skype meeting. Roll call, please.
Coldarn.
Here.
Bond.
Here.
Dilbeck.
Here.
Ahern.
Here.
Brown.
She may be muted.
Present hold. Spacebar.
Just a second, Dixie.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
White.
Here.
Morrill. Wines.
Here.
Streller.
Here. Thank you. I do declare a
Bill,
quorum. Yes.
sorry. Bill, Mike said he'll be here shortly. Just let me know.
Shortly as he's trying to get in now or what?
I don't know. He said he's running just a tad behind. I don't have any details. He just texted me.
All right. Bryce,
I just go ahead and start.
can we proceed then, Bryce? Benzie's not trying to get on.
Yes, you can proceed. It's just that if he joins and drops off, and it's
Okay.
a technical deal, you got to stop the meeting.
Okay. That's what I thought. I just wanted to check, make sure. Okay. I do declare a quorum. Thank you, Derek, for that. The invocation tonight will be by Gloria.
Heavenly Father, we just thank you tonight for especially a beautiful day today with sunshine. And Father, as we look at the world today and that we're living in times of uncertainty, I ask that you help us to be reminded that you alone are our helper and our defender. Lord, I ask you to lead us and guide us and direct us as leaders with your wisdom and discernment. And Lord, show us your mercy, show us your grace, and show us your glory in everything that we do. We ask it in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Gloria. I appreciate that. Okay. Authority members, item number 1 is the consent agenda for our last meeting.
Motion to approve. This is Brian.
Do we have a second?
Second, Bond.
Roll call, please.
Coldarn.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Dilbeck.
Yes.
Hearn.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Wines.
Yes.
Streller.
Yes. Thank you. Item 4, comments from those assembled pertaining to the items on the PMA agenda. Item 5, proclamation, accommodations, reports, and inquiries by the governing body. I would like to personally give a shout out to our utility workers through the storm that we had. They did a great job. I know we had a lot of water issues, and I was somewhat involved, staying in touch with Dixie and Larry and the water crew. I don't think we had many electrical issues, but this time it was the water department, and they did an outstanding job. So I appreciate them guys. Item 6, motion on adjournment.
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Coldarn.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Dilbeck.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Wines.
Yes.
Streller.
Yes. Thank you, Dixie. Are you ready, Dixie?
Ready.
Okay, thank you. I'd like to call to order a special meeting of City Council of City of Perry, March 1st, 2021 via Zoom at 6:19. Roll call, please.
Coldarn.
Here.
Bond.
Here.
Dilbeck.
Here.
Ahern.
Here.
Brown.
Here.
White.
Here.
Morrill. Wines.
Here.
Streller.
Here. Thank you. I do declare a quorum. Item number 1 is the consent agenda. There's quite a few things on the consent agenda. If there's anything we'd like to talk about, if not, we'll motion or entertain a motion to approve.
I make a motion to approve all items A through K in the consent agenda.
Thank you, Brian.
Brian.
Second, Wines.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Kildare,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrell. Wait, sorry. Wines,
Yes.
Streller.
Yes, thank you. Item number 4, comments from those assembled pertaining to the items on the city agenda this evening. Hearing none, we'll move to item 5, proclamations, accommodations, reports inquired by the governing body. Again, I would like to give a shout out to our street department and other parks department, everyone that worked hard on the city side through the storm. They worked hard to clean our streets, and we really appreciate that.
Yeah, and Mayor, I'd do a shout out to the citizens too. I know people did their best to conserve water and conserve electricity, and it's kind of a team effort. So shout out to really everybody.
Thank you, Brian. I appreciate that. Anyone else? Item 6, the city manager's report.
Thank you, Mayor. I do want to kind of piggyback on what you and Brian have said. It certainly was a community effort, truly a community effort. The National Guard, the Oklahoma National Guard was here. Perry Ministerial Alliance had made arrangements for hotel rooms and places for stranded motorists to stay. The Noble County Family YMCA opened their facility for showers. Even the stock show organizers helped out by closing all the washrooms and requiring the show animals to arrive prepped and ready to show. Some of the organizers also brought in water for the animals to drink, so they didn't have to use our water system. Again, our employees worked long hours, working hard to keep the water pressure in the towers at a level that was acceptable by the Department of Environmental Quality, so we didn't have to do any boil order or anything. We certainly were lucky in that, and we appreciate that. Again, truly a community effort, and we appreciate it. Thank you. Mayor?
Any questions for Larry? Well, hearing none, we will move to item 7, Chief Financial Officer's report. I'm not sure who we have with us this evening. Meredith?
It's me.
That's what they're saying. That's what they're telling me.
I'm here. All right. I've got January financials because of Russ was unable to present at the non-existent meeting last month. So January financials, as of January 31st, total of $9.8 million in cash. We're down about 6 basis points from where we were in December, which is negligible. 56% of our cash is sitting in unrestricted funds. 44% of that is somehow restricted either through bonds, hospital, airport, cemetery, those either outside enabling legislation or terms that you all have identified that you want them restricted for. But overall cash is remaining steady through January. And you'll see that's because of our good financial position 7 months into the year. General fund itself should be at about 58% of budget. January itself saw extremely strong use tax. We were up almost double from where we were at this time last year, $20,000. Month to date, our sales and use tax is up about 10%. Year to date, we're up about 18%. You all know that we budgeted these very conservatively because it was the start of the pandemic when we originally issued our budget. So seeing positive numbers in that is exciting. You'll notice in general government expenses, we're at 71% of budget. That includes about $85,000 worth of expenses related to the ice storm damage. We'd already incurred that additional cost through January 31st. So as that cleanup, as you're seeing that cleanup, that's the reason that number is a little bit high. Revenues over expenses, $239,000. And that leaves us with about 7 months of cash on hand, which is a good, strong position to be in. On the municipal authority itself, from our electric, water, sewer, and trash, we're clearing about $1.5 million. That's a 24% profit margin, which is strong compared to what we had budgeted. Again, looking at, we didn't know what was going to happen. Again, we did this back in March. So comparison to budget, very strong. You'll notice, as expected, water it loses money because of the fact that we've got that debt payment coming through there. Once we transfer out $1.6 million, most of that going over to the general fund, about 1.4 of it going over to the general fund, that leaves us with net income of $227,000 for 7 months in, and about 3 months of cash on hand. Cash on hand will be necessary and needed as we start looking at the ramifications of the ice storm on our community itself. Luckily, we've got an inside track to what's going to happen at OMPA. Thank goodness Dixie sits on the board and represents us, as well as this side of the state. So we're very lucky to have that representation for sure.
Any questions for Meredith? Meredith, thank you very much. I appreciate what you do for us. I do have one question, and it's not to you, Meredith. Just what you said sparked something. It's for Larry. Larry, do we have some like a contractor crew or something to help do cleanup still? I've seen some people working in the parks today that I did not recognize as part of our crews.
We do have some contractors coming in to help us with cleanup of Century, Lions, most of the parks that we have right now. We have a little bit left in the emergency declaration, and we wanted to get that cleaned up as fast as we possibly could, and hopefully have that all done and invoices in so that we can take care of the FEMA declaration as well and get that money back for us. So there are some new folks, in town. Yes, sir.
Okay. Larry, you might, I'm sorry, Bryce, if I get in trouble for this, but could you give a brief announcement about the groundbreaking on Wednesday for the splash pad? You know about that?
Yes, sir. Wednesday at 4:00 at Lions Park, be a groundbreaking for the splash pad. This is phase 1. Very excited about this, and we asked the folks to come out and show their support. It's going to be a really nice facility.
I talked to Melanie about that today, and I meant to say that during your report a while ago, Larry. I'm sorry I didn't.
You bet. And if I could throw this in, we're also working on a ribbon cutting for the Camp 10 NACO walking trail. We have sort of penciled in March 24th at 10 o'clock. So we're trying to get some folks in to help us out with that. So
All right.
look forward to that.
Thank you.
bet.
Thank you, Meredith, again. Okay, where are we at? We're going to move to item number 8, award following bids to Stryker MTS Power Cots and 2 Stryker Power Load Cot systems to Stryker Plus installation, $2,600 for a total price of $87,389.64. And Bauer Scuba Fill Station to Test Corp in the amount of $32,395. Any questions, or if not, we'll entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve both bids, the one with Stryker in the amount of $87,389.64 and with Bear in the amount of $32,395.
Second, Wines.
Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Coldarn,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes. Yes.
Can you hear her, Dixie, or we lose you?
I heard Amber, but I haven't heard Brian.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
Okay, maybe you couldn't hear me say Ahern, sorry.
I hear you now, yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Gloria, we can't hear you.
Yes.
You're muted.
Yes.
She's still on. Just a second, Council.
I can hear her through yours. Does that count?
Yeah, I can too.
Yes.
Dixie, can you hear her saying yes through me?
I can hear her.
Okay, we'll move on.
Okay, White,
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Streller.
Yes, thank you. That's funny. Item number 9. Let me see if she's back. We're good? Okay. Item number 9, award 2 Ford Interceptor utility vehicle bids. Okay, council, if y'all went through your packet, you will see there was multiple bids for different vehicles. I was a little bit confused. Several of us were confused. So I'm going to try my best to hash it out a little bit for you. And I'm assuming, I can't see everybody, but I'm assuming Brian's online with us too, and he can talk. But if you looked under item 9, there was a bid from Seth Wadley for a 2020 Ford Interceptor in the amount of $34,802. And then you go on, and then there's the same bid for a 2021 Ford Police Interceptor for the same amount. And I've checked with Brian and Bryce and Dixie and everybody, Larry, everybody there is to talk to. And the 2021 is wrong. It's a 2020. So I don't know why it got misprinted, and I'm sure when they were making the bid up down there that it was just an error, because the first document, the retail purchase agreement, does say 2020 on it. And then there's a second car. There's a bid by John Vance for a car that, I'm trying to get it here. Find it. I'm getting there, I promise. For $33,876, which is about $1,000 cheaper than what $900 and some dollars cheaper than Seth Wadley's. But that car is not equipped the same as Seth Wadley's car. It's just like a base model, no wiring harnesses. So we would have to spend quite a bit more money on that car to get it to the point that the Seth Wadley car is. Now, if you go to the second bid that John Vance put out, which is $34,986, which Brian tells me is a comparable car to the Seth Wadley bid of $34,800. So Seth Wadley, if we go compare apples to apples, the Seth Wadley car at $34,802 is the same car as the $34,986 car for John Vance. Brian, are you with us? Can you hear us?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. If you would like to expand on this a little bit.
Yeah, both of them are state bid prices. When it comes down to the dealerships, my goal, which I told before, I wanted to stay local, and these are our 2 local dealerships. Wadley was cheaper on the state bid, and overall, in my opinion, I just think we've done Vance all these years, and I'd like to give Wadley a chance, being a Ford dealership and local, and we are buying a Ford vehicle.
Hey, Brian, I noticed that you, at least in one part in here, it said black or white. Are we at least sticking with white so they match the rest of the cars?
Well, the cars in particular at Wadley are black. What I'm wanting to try to do is a lot of departments do it, and I've seen departments when I go to the conferences, and I kind of like it, and I kind of want to implement that here to where the administration drive black cars and the patrol stay white cars. And we're wanting to give that a shot, just trying something different and trying to shake it up around here and get morale back up, and we're just kind of wanting to try something different.
What's going to happen, Brian, when you want to hand these cars down to your patrol and then you got patrol with black cars?
Well, you're talking admin. They'll stay admin if if I lose an admin, I'll put somebody else in that position and they'll take over the black car. I don't ever intend on the black cars being on the patrol. And right now our admin's only 3 deep, and Lieutenant Odell is currently driving my old car, the unmarked Charger, and I keep admin unmarked, and there would only be 3 cars in this department that would be unmarked.
Are you still talking about a 2020 instead of a 2021?
Yes.
And Brian, Odell's car is black right now, right?
No. That's it. His car was the 07 Dodge Charger. That was the rebuilt title that was wrecked, and I believe I discussed at the council meeting that you can't even, it's good to get to his house and from. If there was a pursuit that took initiative right now, he would not be able to participate because the front end's out, and it's just a scrap car. And I'm glad you brought that up. I basically had Seth Wadley, their adjusters, came over today, and this is going to be strictly up to the council whether we want to just get rid of the 2 cars that are parked here on the side of my department. They're salvage cars. One of them, the motor and transmission's out, and the one Odell was driving is it runs, but it's in very bad shape. And when they came over and looked at the cars today, that's why I think we kind of need to see what we want to do. He said for them to take possession of the cars, they have to pay $250 just for auction fees. The motor and transmission, the interior, the headliners hanging down, they were only going to offer $150 for that car. And
what is it, Brian?
That's that 04 Durango.
Okay.
And they were offering $150, and the Charger, which Odell was in, they were going to offer $300 for it. So it's one of those, if we want them to be gone off our inventory and gone and don't have to worry about it, that's one thing. Or if we want to try to surplus them for auction down the line, they're not hurting anything. They're sitting there, but that's something I believe the council needs to decide what they want to do with the cars, because I don't want a used car lot, just our old cars, and I don't want to take them down to the street department to have them store them. But it'd be strictly up to you guys what you want to do with it. But I wanted to give you numbers of what they're worth sitting right now.
All right. Well, that's for another topic, but I appreciate that, Brian. I really do. Council, do y'all have any questions for Brian or any questions about the process or what we're doing here?
Just to make sure. So, admin, you said there's 3. You're potentially going to keep Odell in the unmarked white, and then
yes.
the 2 new ones will go to you and detective. Is that correct?
Yes. Correct.
And with our plans to rotate, that we've been trying to implement, how do we see the different colors working in the future? As far as I know, Bill kind of asked this question already, but how long do you guys see yourself staying in the black? And then do we need to rotate? I don't know that we need to rotate those the same, correct? I assume you guys are putting admin puts less miles than patrol, right?
That's correct, Derek. My Charger was a 2017, and I believe in the 4 years I've had it, I've got 16,000 miles on it when I gave it to Lieutenant Odell. Yeah, we do some traveling. We'll go to Stillwater. We'll go to conferences. But admin cars are going to last 5-to-1 over a patrol car that the guys are out in.
So in about the same amount of time, how much is on the other 17s, probably roughly, mileage wise?
Well, I was the only 17. The rest of them are 16s. So they're 5-year-old cars. Most of them right now are at between 42 and maybe 60. Some of them have 60,000. So we've had almost every Charger other than my 17 in the shop for either transmission, lifters, fans, motors, braking. Now, anything engine-wise is covered still to the 100,000-mile mark, but we have had a lot of out-of-cost with the radiators and the fans breaking and going up into the radiator, and one transmission, which we didn't have to pay to get fixed. And currently, we just had a car last week. The engine lifters were tapping, had it repaired, and we've got another one that was tapping, and it's in the shop currently being repaired. But those are at no cost to us since they're still warranty.
I also talked to Brian a little bit about those two situations. And Brian said that the dealer that he was having work on those cars wasn't living up to our expectations. So he called Seth Wadley and he took those cars. They picked it up, took it to Paul's Valley, repaired it, got it back within, what did you say, a week?
No, it was 4 days.
4 days. Well,
yeah.
Anyway, let's say a good work week. And now he's going to take the other one down there. So Seth Wally is trying to make an effort to help us in that area too.
Currently, right now, our Chargers, if we have any maintenance issues, we have to either have it towed or officers drive it down to Guthrie. We can't get it serviced here. And right now with Wadley, they're picking our cars up and bringing them back to us, but they do Dodge warranty, but you got to take it to Paul's Valley. But they said you'll never have to drive it down there. We got you covered. If it won't make it on its own, they'll at least tow it and bring it back, and we're not out having two officers go to Guthrie to take one down, pick it up, and vice versa. But like Mayor said, I think Wadley's really trying to earn the business, and that's why I'm kind of wanting to. We shop Vance all these years with our Crown Vics, the Chargers, and being a new dealership. And what sells me is that it is Ford, and that's what we're purchasing is a Ford. It's not Chevy, it's a Ford or Dodge. So I just really want to reach out to Wadley and give them the opportunity and see what they have to offer. And plus, if you go by bid specs, they are a little cheaper than Vance on the state bid.
Any further questions?
I'd just like to say that I think it is important to utilize both of the dealerships in our town.
Yes.
And if you all remember, this did come from a grant, so we're not going to be out any money ourselves. But there will be, it's unrelated to this bid, but there will be another charge, I believe. Am I right, Brian? $10,000 was kind of an estimate of what it's going to cost to get you guys set up with your lights and radios and things.
Yeah, it was 95 and some change possibly, but 10 would be a good mark to not go over. And we did go out for bids on our emergency equipment. There was places in Oklahoma City, I believe they were $11,000 to $12,000. Oklahoma State University has a fleet service division over there. Every vehicle that Oklahoma State owns, they put every light on them. They're at their fleet service center, and they were cheaper. And I like it's. We don't have anything local, but if we ever need a problem or something goes wrong, we're only 20-minute drive to go get it repaired with their service department over there, and they're really good. We went over and toured their facility, looking at stuff. They do have the Ford Interceptor cars, and they were just really nice, and it's close to home, and I like that part to where if we need equipment to get fixed, we're 20 minutes away to get that done.
All right, council. Give us some direction.
Well, I think based on what Brian has presented, I think I'll make the motion to, I guess we have to make a motion to waive the competitive bidding ordinance and award the bid for the 2 interceptors to Seth Wadley Ford for each one in the amount of $34,802.
I second the motion.
Thank you to both of you. Any further discussion before we move to vote? Roll call, please.
I disagree with Gloria, though.
I'm sorry. Did you say something, Jamie? I apologize.
I do agree with Gloria. I think it's important. We're gonna have to figure out a way to support both dealerships. And I know we've said that, and Seth Wadley clearly is the winner in this one based on just the bid alone. But they've both done a lot for our community, and we need to continue to support both of them.
And Mayor, if I may, council, when we went out to bid for the expedition for the fire department last year, that was bought from John Vance. Thank you, Mayor.
Yeah, I do think that we do show support. I appreciate Jamie and Derek and Brian, all the council members and Gloria, everybody has a concern about this. I really do support that 100% myself. They are a local dealer. John Vance is a local dealer here, and it doesn't much matter to me if they're 4 dealerships in Guthrie or where it's at. It's still a business here in Perry. But we did go out for bid, and the lowest responsible bidder this time is Seth Wadley. Anyone else? Here we go.
Cold iron.
Roll call. Roll call, please. Give me a second. I was trying to build up. You took my thunder.
Yes.
Bond.
Yes.
Dilbeck.
Yes.
Ahern.
Yes.
Brown.
Yes.
White.
Yes.
Did y'all hear me?
I'm gonna go with yes, but I didn't hear her.
Okay. I can hear you, Jamie.
Okay.
Streller.
Yes. Let me see where we're at. Item 10, our favorite subject. Discuss the COVID-19 pandemic.
But before we start, I think Mike has made it. I think that's him down there.
I'm so disappointed. Derek used to lead discussion all the time. Now he's just dropped off of us.
What do you want me to say?
I don't know. You were always the one that led discussion in COVID-19 pandemic. I'm just giving you a hard time.
I can ask a whole bunch.
Is Mike on the call? Because does he need to vote on the previous item?
Tyson, do you have Mike? Huh?
I see him listed on here.
Yeah. If you can ask Dixie. Mike Morrill, can you hear us?
I'm showing he's muted right now.
What did you say?
Morrill?
Tyson say he's unmuted.
I can't hear anyone.
Can you hear me, Dixie?
Hey,
Yes, I hear you.
Tyson, unmute 7806.
I can't.
He can't, Derek.
Okay. I thought that was his cell phone, but I'm not sure.
I agree.
All right.
He doesn't have a mic on his name.
Can you hear me now?
Yep.
Good. Yes, Dixie.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I'm sorry.
All right. If we're squared up now, item 10, discussion, the COVID pandemic, the COVID-19 pandemic. Any discussion that we need to talk about?
Numbers are coming down. That's good.
Yep. I agree, Derek.
See, we had another death though. That's not great, but it is good to. I mean, obviously, it's really sad, but it is good to see that our numbers are coming down. Hopefully, that's maybe the last that we'll see.
If that's it, we will move to item 11. Consider convening an executive session to, one, discuss the appraisals and purchase of certain real property relating to the Upper Black Bear Watershed Project pursuant to Title 25, Section 307B3 of Oklahoma statute as amended, and number two, discuss on the matter pertaining to the economic development of the city of Perry, to discuss a proposal to entice the local or the location of a medical related business to the city of Perry to create additional jobs and payroll, as the disclosure of the proposal will interfere with the development and implementation of the proposal pursuant to 25 OS 307 C11 of the Oklahoma statutes as amended.
Motion to convene into executive session.
Second.
Okay, just so we know, once we come out of executive session, there will be a 5-minute delay. We will not have any way to announce that we're out, so just keep watching so you can get back on if you're interested in watching further. Roll call, please.
Cold Iron,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
White,
Yes.
Morrill, Morrill,
Mike, can you hear us? Okay, he's gone. So we got to wait to see if he's going to reconnect.
Can you guys hear me?
Yep, we got you now.
I'll tell you, I'm having a heck of a time tonight, guys. I'm sorry.
Okay, we're doing roll call, Mike, for executive session.
Yes.
Wines,
Yes.
Streller.
Yes. All right, council. We are now officially back in session. We are going to go to item 13, take any action deemed necessary pursuant to executive session. Hearing none, seeing none. Item 14, motion on adjournment.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
Roll call, please.
Coldarn,
Yes.
Bond,
Yes.
Dilbeck,
Yes.
Ahern,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
White.
Curtis?
Yes. Sorry.
Okay.
Morrell,
Yes.
Wines.
Yes.
Streller.
Yes. Thank you, council. Have a good evening.